property prices after the election. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heiser here and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's look at this article from Domain discussing what will happen to home prices after the election, guys. What do you reckon? Do you think the election will make any difference to housing? Really, it'll be consumer confidence, I think, will have a big impact if we get Labor or if we get Liberal. I don't know if there'll be much difference between the two, but we'll have to see. So, what will happen to house prices after the election? House prices may have risen after the 2019 election, but this time around a post-vote downturn is expected as mortgage holders face the first of many interest rates rises after going to the ballot box on the 21st of May. Not all areas of the country are expected to see price corrections, though with more affordable regional centres and the Brisbane and Adelaide markets likely to hold steady, experts say. Well, Brisbane has just surged an insane amount, and Adelaide is just going nuts. Adelaide you could afford a house in the city that was really nice, not anymore. I mean, I'm anchored to Brisbane prices, so looking at Adelaide was great. We have to do another live property challenge, finding some cheap property. Brendan Coates, the economic program director with the Grattan Institute, said the post-election housing market this year would be the opposite of 2019, which saw the end of an 18-month downturn when Scott Morrison was re-elected in a miracle win. Now, let me bring up a definition here. Not a definition. We want to look at an organization. And here, the Grattan Institute. I've got them here. Let's just bring them up. Wait, nope. That's a political party. So they're a think tank, everyone. You've got to understand they're a think tank. They proudly advocated for hard lockdowns. So just remember that whenever you see anything they are pushing for, just remember, okay? However, it wasn't Morrison's re-election that caused property prices to rebound. It was the Australian Prudential Regulatory Authority's easing of the lending rules. It had tightened after the findings of the Financial Services Royal Commission, which led to the market strengthening, Coates said. This election predicted interest rate rises, the first of which is expected just weeks after the vote, will result in buyers' budgets being squeezed, lowering what they can offer at auction or private sale in subsequent months. Vendors who have held back from listing due to the pandemic are putting extra stock on the market and cutting the competitiveness that once meant prices would rise. Interest rates rising will affect all housing across Australia, Coates said. There's new data from the RBA showing that if interest rates increase by 2 percentage points, house prices will reduce 15%. Now, that may sound dramatic, guys, but what are we going to be back in 2011? No. We won't be 2010. We won't be 2011. We'll be at 2021 prices. It won't make any difference. I mean, let's just bring up this one here. Capital cities. Everyone. SQM asking prices. Wait a minute. Nope. There we go. Full screen. There we go. So let's say this is all capital cities. So we got all houses. We're going back 15%. We'll just go, 200 grand back. Oh boy, we're back in 2021. We'll go a little bit less. Let's go 900. Oh, we're in 2020. It's not going to make much difference. So, but it's not happening in all markets across the country. What's happening at the moment is there is a real two-speed market going on where prices are flatlined in Sydney and Melbourne, but are going strong in Brisbane and Adelaide. Coates said, yeah, that always happens. It always happens. People are anchored to Sydney, psychologically anchored to higher prices in Sydney and Melbourne, and they go to Brisbane, Adelaide, and other regional areas and see things are much more affordable. They can sell their shitty dog box in the middle of Sydney and get really nice, breathing room, yard, probably even acreage in some parts of Brisbane if you go further out. Quality of life improves. You can work here. Yeah. Adelaide, you get beautiful houses there. But that's running out too. It's driving up costs. He said prices in regional cities where people fled during the pandemic were likely to endure given their relative affordability and the opportunity for people to still work from home. Coates said major policy changes for the housing market were taking a back seat compared with 2019. Well, yeah, it lost at Labor the election. The ALP, led at the time by Bill Shorten, pushed for changes to capital gains tax and negative gearing for investment properties. But current ALP leader Anthony Albanese has publicly axed any such changes. Yeah, Albanese isn't an idiot. He may not have memorized the cash rate or the unemployment rate, but he knows going for negative gearing and capital gains tax isn't going to win him the election. I hope they don't go for the franking credits as well, because that's essentially Labor wanting to undo Labor rules that avoided double taxation. Isn't Australia awesome? So many people don't get it. They don't get it. There's the problem is we've got this tall poppy bullshit mindset jealousy here in Australia that anyone getting ahead, everyone just wants to drag them down. Everyone wants the government to take care of them. It's kind of disgusting. So, though the incumbent Morrison had extended the home guarantee scheme, which offers first home buyers a way into the market with just a 5% deposit, don't forget the 2% deposit for single families, it's not expected to change the outcome for the market after the election. It's not really addressing the issue that vulnerable Australians face to afford to buy and rent. It's not going to drive big changes, Coates said. Well, if you want to do that, you need to increase supply. The government needs to get out of the way and make it easier for people to develop. The not in my backyard crowd need to realize that their little inner city detached houses 4 minutes away from the city centre, it's a bit of a luxury. Okay, it's a bit of a luxury. Coates, head of CoreLogic, head of research Tim Lawless, said the lack of policies dealing with housing issues was surprising, given how much people, particularly young people, were focused on housing affordability. While parties have acknowledged it, I thought there would be more around housing, Lawless said. He believed the housing market would continue its downturn after the election, given it was already softening. Lawless said one of the housing markets to be directly affected by the elections would be Canberra's, where nervous public servants employed by the current government were waiting to see whether they'd have a job after May 21. There won't be a lot of difference to other markets except on the voting weekend, where there'll be fewer auctions. Domain Chief of Research and Economics, Dr. Nicola Powell, said prices in Sydney would ease more than those in Melbourne, given the extraordinary leap in prices in the harbour city over the past 2 years. The median house price jump rose by an astonishing 33.1% in 2021 to a median of 1.6, compared to Melbourne's 18.6 to 1.1. Powell said the predicted post-election interest rate rise would be extremely difficult for those who had taken out big loans to get into the market. 4 or 5 interest rate rises are being predicted by the end of 2023, she said. That will be extremely confronting for mortgage holders, especially those who are mortgaged to the hilt, like first-home buyers who have really stretched to get into the market. But the thing is, well, let's have a talk about this, okay? We've got to... Some of the things we have to understand is those people that have jumped into the market, the banks should have accounted for buffers with higher interest rates. Now, either the banks didn't and the people did the dodge, then they're going to get burned. Then they'll appear on ABC and bitch and moan to the point until the government will come to the rescue and give them some stupid bloody handout. I'm only half joking there, guys. Look at what happened at our first recession, 28 years. Come on, look at the precedent. Or what's going to happen is, and this is what I think will really happen, is that it'll be a slap in the face for some people, and they'll have to realize that many of these luxuries that they're buying, eating out, getting the Uber to drop off food because they're too lazy, these 5 subscriptions to online services, all will have to go. Their consumer and discretionary spending will get swallowed up by their mortgages. And they'll have to live a little bit more frugal life and will really go to the bone to keep their house. Well, don't worry, guys. We will see the sob stories. ABC will milk this like to the moon. Every left-leaning interventionist group will use it to argue for more socialist housing and more taxes on everyone. But we'll have to wait and see if it'll actually be a big impact on property. 15% fall short. It's going to hurt some people. They may be in negative equity for a couple of years, but will it really matter in the long term? What's your horizon, guys? This is the thing when all of this talk about property and it's going to crash and it's going to go down, people trying to time the market for a purchase that they're going to hold on for 50 years. Doesn't matter. You tell me. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links for Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Aussie Broadband. Or if you need architectural services, give us a call. We do a lot of commercial, education, and resource sector work. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Are you looking forward to your democracy dogs? Okay? Get your hot dog, your barbecue dog, collect your piles of paper and garbage, or are you going to do the pre-polling? That's really convenient. Maybe I'll do that. We'll have to see. Take care, guys. I'll see you next episode.